I'm still trying to meet the girl in my bio. I know her, but we're not really close. So I'm here to talk to you about civil discourse and the rise of social media clout chasing. I consider myself an authority because I'm very judgmental, and I'm also the captain of that team because for a while I used to be one of those people that was clout chasing. So what is clout chasing? Essentially, if you know what social climbing is, this is a digital equivalent to that. I'm a zillennial, which means I was born right on the cusp of Gen X and being a millennial. So we came up in the age where we went from being able to not have the internet to having the internet. We were on the web in high school, social media came around when we were in our 20s, and all of our life has been spent trying to reconnect with people through social media. But the problem with that is we've gotten to a point where we're comfortable using it as a space to have civil discourse. So let's break that down. I'm sure you all have seen these examples many, many times over. You've got the couple on social media. They're just telling you all about their vacations, staycations, workcations, which I find an oxymoron. She's posting all about him. He barely posts about her, if ever. It's a way for her to validate to her friends, Shantae's got a man. It may not be her man only, but she doesn't care because she just wants her friends to know she's in a relationship. It may be that he got with her for her own social media clout. She has more followers than him, or he has more resources than she does. It doesn't really matter what the issue is. They're using each other and couching it in a love relationship. Now, sometimes what we see is that these people often use these as a way to sort of mask what's really going on behind scenes. We've seen this over and over again. You got these couples, and they look so great, and then he murders her. And you're like, that just followed you, and y'all were just in Puerto Rico, thinking that was an exotic vacation, and now she's in a grave, or her babies are in a grave. Or you've seen the super mom and dad giving parenting tips and tricks, and they're abusing their children behind the scene. But as long as they keep those likes coming and creating content, it doesn't matter what you actually think. It's just the picture, it's the image. And we've gotten so comfortable in this country, and actually across the globe, with having engagement and having quantity over quality that we forgot what social media was supposed to be for, which was to connect. How about the Instagram therapists? You've seen them, right? They're telling you, if he doesn't text back, he doesn't love you. And you're like, well, what if the brother's in a meeting? I'm thinking, he better be in a meeting, at least. Or they're telling you with ominous music that you are supposed to empower yourself and don't worry about what the world thinks about you. But that's exactly what social media is doing. You're seeing this more and more with girls who are looking to fitness experts and saying, I want to have this beautiful physique. But what the fitness expert didn't tell you is she's had weight loss surgery and/or she's had cosmetic surgery to have this beautiful physique. It's causing discourse within our own communities, within our homogenous groups. We see this with politics, elected officials using social media to spread disinformation. I won't name anybody, but y'all know who he is. It's becoming to the point where we can't even have an open conversation or a dialogue that's effective. We see this with our parents, and we see this with children. And then there's that group in the middle who doesn't really care to use social media, but they're stalking you anyway. You see them on your stories, your views. I look at my views because I want to know if my exes are looking. It's important to me to have their attention, apparently. My own social media clout chasing. But we're having more divisive conversations. What we see is this illusion that leadership and success looks like you posing in front of a Mercedes or you being on vacation with your girls in Dubai and yet coming home and having to work 2 or 3 jobs just to pay off those bills. This illusion of success is driving civil discourse. It's not particularly just about social media. It's about the image in which we portray ourselves to the world. Granted, you don't want to put all of your business on social media. I don't tell the bad parts, But certainly, it's supposed to highlight your life, but not give people the idea that it's always so good. It's not always so good. So let's talk about how we can have these dialogues in a healthy way. One, I think it's important for parents, teachers, librarians, educators, people in the education space, to remind the people that they teach every day that self-worth starts here. It doesn't start on social media. I know that there's this new wave of trying to bring about social media for teenagers and cutting out some of these images, but if celebrities are following you on social media, then you're looking to them. The other way is to understand what exactly leadership looks like. We see this all the time with people who may or may not have talent, and yet they're putting their music out on social media, telling you to follow them on Spotify, or I forget the other one that used to be a big thing, SoundCloud, where they're asking you to buy their albums, but there's no artist representation, or there's no way that these people are polishing these artists. So anybody can get up there. Now, I can't sing a tune. I can't even hum. I can whistle, but I can't even hum. But people like me would get up there and spout out a tune and expect you to follow. And the more outrageous it is, the more likes I can get. And that's the whole point. It's not even about the quality of the work anymore. It's about you putting out content, which creates stress, anxiety, a way for you to think that you are important. Leadership is about resiliency, it's about work ethic, and your legacy. What you did on social media 2 weeks ago, I probably will never remember again. But for somebody who has low self-esteem or has set the barometer so low that all they want to be is social media influencers, that means the world to them. So I encourage all of us, everybody in this room, after you follow me, I encourage everybody in this room to think about what civil discourse on social media looks like to you. Are you the person on TikTok sharing disgusting, vile, and vulgar stories? Are you passing memes to your friends that are supposed to encourage them, but really isn't encouraging them, just making them feel a little bit more anxiety-ridden? Are you standing in the space with them at that moment to understand exactly what they need? It may not be social media. It could be you picking up the phone. It could be you saying, let's go out and have a drink. Let's go out and have dinner. I need you to be present. Social media, we've lost our presence. So for me, I encourage all of you, stand in the moment. Be mysterious. Everything doesn't need to go on social media. You said your word was sexy. Sexy is leaving a little bit of, I'll see you after the club kind of a thing. That's what it's supposed to be about. So this is my TEDx talk to you. Social media ain't shit. But you are everything. Stand in your moment and you believe who you are and leave the civil discourse to the idiots in DC. Now, I didn't bring my phone, but I want you all to follow me so you can get more tips and tricks on how to be judgmental. And remember that this TEDx talk is about social media clout chasing, and I don't want to see any of you doing that. Thank you.